Last time.
Hi, I'm baby Destana. I'm excited to go to Skyrim and join the Thieves Guild.
I love need you to rob some guys in solitude.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
Believe it or not, jail.
Hey, babe.
Oh, there.
Married. They wanna join the Stormcloaks.
And the college.
And the Dark Brotherhood. Hey, kid, wanna get adopted?
Yeah, but I'm a teen now, and the listener. Hey, babe, wanna kill my dad?
Okay.
I'm not the Dragonborn.
You are the Dragonborn.
Okay, I'm the Dragonborn.
Hey, babe.
Married again. Double married.
We exist and we're adults now.
I'm an adult too, and the Thalmor are about to invade.
Arc 2. Destana is not invincible. About this time was when I started actually recording, but I had no idea how to edit videos. My very first one was Solaire and Destana training in the Pit of 100 Battles. Then she trained with the kids in Serana, fighting bandits. They fended off an advance party sent by the Thalmor that came through the same way Runa had, but they were dealt with swiftly. It was about this time that Destana realized how powerful Damien, Runa, and Fenrir had become. Also, the kids all went on side quests. Runa finds a spy in the ranks and deals with him, and she meets Tyrone Calais for the first time, who is the catalyst to get the Legion in Exile back together. Fenrir and Damien help the war effort by doing side jobs. Destana brings the last Forsworn tribe and giants into the army, because Skyrim belongs to all the natives. The Time Wall comes down, and the Thalmor attack Riften and Falkreath simultaneously. Fenrir, Damien, and the Legion in Exile protect Falkreath, while Runa, Destana, the Stormcloaks, and the Thieves Guild protect Riften. Seeing their biggest threat, the Thalmor capture Destana, and both cities are lost due to their overwhelming numbers. Among the dead are Vex of the Thieves Guild. Jarls Layla Lawgiver, Sedgeir, and Dengir are publicly executed, the Thalmor taking their place. Serana is pissed at Destana's capture and flies off in vampire form looking for her. Runa assassinates a bunch of Thalmor targets. Fenrir helps Imperial battle mages retrieve artifacts. Damien goes off on his own to figure out the Thalmor's plans. Destana is tortured to extract her power to fuel Thalmor superweapons. She finds there the reason for the alien beasts. Then they continue to push forward, taking Morthal, Markarth, and Helgen. Just when all hope seems lost, Destana mounts a last-ditch escape effort, killing everyone in the prison with the entities they were summoning with her power. She's picked up by Damien and Serana. Briefly loses her ability to shout, but realizes there's no time to waste and everybody rushes to Whiterun. The Thalmor once again seem to have overwhelming numbers. Seeing things are going bad, Destana calls upon and by some miracle they are able to defend Whiterun. Also due to the fact that Skyrim and the Legion in Exile are working together, both of which continue the momentum, join with the Forsworn, and then take back Markarth. Destana and her group goes to free prisoners. A delegation from Hammerfell arrives. General Cialius, Destana, and Ulfric meet with ambassadors and General Jura, an old friend from the Great War. They offer assistance at a price. Next, Destana and group pincer Falkreath and take it back with aid from an unnamed dragon sent by Parthenax. Jura returns with Alakir guards he mustered up at short notice. After the battle, the group takes a much-needed rest and gets a drink. Destana and Jura put two and two together and figure out he's her dad. He sowed a lot of seeds while he was traveling around. Jura helps rebuild and becomes interim Jarl of Falkreath. Off-camera, they take back Morthal and Helgen, with the Helgen Reborn boys. It turns out their commanders are actually friends with Jura also. The Thalmor ask for negotiations under a peace banner, seeing as how they only hold Riften at this point. Of course they attack, and the crew destroys them. Striking while the iron is hot, everyone converges on Riften, assaulting the north and south gates at the same time. Even Damien assists, now that he's figured out the Thalmor's secret weapon, chronomancy. Eventually, the day is won. Except, their general has escaped to the Valathi Mountains. Damien, Destana, and Balfi, a Stormcloak commander, follow. Destana and Virenir face off one-on-one in epic battle. Afterward, Virenir in ghost form says she will return. Skyrim has a victory party week, and a couple days later Destana and Ulfric call the Moot again. It's the end of 210, and they make a number of decrees official. First, when the year rolls over, it'll be 216 to line up with the rest of Tamriel. Vignar announces Jarldom of Whiterun and hands it to Balgruuf, and Destana passes Harbinger to Vignar. Skyrim officially declares independence from Cyrodiil. Maven Blackbriar is declared Jarl of Riften. They table the Jarldom of Falkreath for now because both potential Jarls were killed. Mododak is declared official Jarl of Markarth.
I had my doubts that you'd be able to convince the Forsworn to work with us. They were instrumental in taking back the Reach. Now, I have no doubts about your Maldanak. Anybody who disagrees with this decree is going to answer to me.
I challenge Madanak for right to the Jarl's throne by way of combat.
All right, make some room. I guess we can do this here.
You may not know this, but I've fought all my life while you were sitting on your throne.
Wait, I give up. You can have the Jarldom.
Dude? There's poison on this. I can smell it.
Guards, take him away.
This is disappointing. Did he think we would just hand him the Jarldom if he stabbed him in the back?
Surprisingly, that's not even the most controversial thing Destana said at that Moot.
The Dominion is on the run, but they still hold Somerset, Valenwood, Elswyer, and some of Blackmarsh. Cyrodiil is in turmoil. We now have the start of an alliance in Hammerfell, and we could pursue an alliance with High Rock and Cyrodiil.
So what are you proposing?
We're going to invade the Dominion.
At this point, the story kind of diverges. Destana, not completely recovered from her capture and torture, takes an adventuring break for a few months. Fenrir goes to Elswyer with Shirley to foster an alliance there and finds Sophia and Inigo, who traveled there some months ago. At the Moot, Runa shows a letter to Destana from Siguna Bruma, asking her to help with her daughter Rigmor. Now, I kind of pulled a fast one here. I didn't want to do Rigmor of Bruma at all, so I retconned that Destana and Runa had helped Rigmor during the 10-year time skip, 202 to 210. Runa ventures to Cyrodiil to help, taking Calais and Jura as reps of the Legion in Exile and Hammerfell, respectively. Damien, poring over Virenir's notes about chronomancy, finds her plan to travel to the past and mess up the timeline. Yes, I'm doing time travel here, but only a little bit. Damien uses a powerful spell and transports himself to her target, High Rock, in the year 405 of the Third Era. He's face to face with Uriel Septim VII.
Wait, I've seen you in my dreams.
No, not that one. I mean, technically it's the same guy, but a different voice actor. He immediately finds the ghost of Virenir, who is powerless, then realizes that so is he. He's lost all of his magic. Couple of side notes. During the war, Damien finally developed his black eyes and horns, and when Destana goes back to being a vampire lord, she gets her bright white eyes. These side stories are pretty long, so I'm going to try and summarize. Skygerfall, the mod Damien is in, is a recreation of the Elder Scrolls II Daggerfall's main quest in Skyrim's engine. Damien's lost all his magic, so he has to reclaim his power from scratch, but he's excited at the challenge. Here goes. The Emperor sends him to High Rock. His ship crashes. He makes his way out of the caves and into Daggerfall, finding an agent of the Emperor and avoiding the ghosts of King Lysandus that patrol and murder at night. Through a very convoluted chain of events, he finds a letter that leads him to Nulfaga, who knows the location of the Mantella that can resurrect the Numidium. That Numidium. Damien meets King Gorthwog of the Orcs, getting through his challenge without killing, might I add. Consults Manamarco, the King of Worms, is contacted by the Underking and eventually finds out who killed King Lysandus. Then he steals the Totem of Tiber Septim from King Gothrid, who is in on the plot. Along the way, Bricinnia and him become romantically entangled. So when he has the choice of who to give the ultimate power to...
Somebody shoot him. He's got the totem.
You know what I think? None of you as souls deserve this. Maybe I should activate it right here.
Damien vanishes, hiding out in his friend's ensorcelled tower, Medora Durini. Some other mentions, during his quest, he gets to crash a dungeon in Ethereum, meets a Daedra woman who is his friend in modern times, and frees a single prisoner. Damien hides out in that tower for about a year, wherein he has a son with Bricinnia and Medora with the prisoner. It turns out he was Martin Septim's younger brother, also a bastard, Calaxius Septim, imprisoned in Daggerfall since the days of Jagar Thorn. When Damien's finally ready, he consults Uriel Septim and gives him the totem. The group briefly appears in Cyrodiil around the time of the Great War until Damien tells the laws of magic to sit down and shut up. Medora and Calaxi stay. Damien and Presinia appear in the Archmage's quarters in the present. Oh, and at some point I did the Mage's Guild quest line on Damien, so the Archmage is Tolfdir. Also, Damien's the hero of Daggerfall now, and he's a year older. Alright, now Runa. This is Rigmor of Cyrodiil, which adds a Cyrodiil world space, Roscrea, and parts of Hammerfell. Runa travels to Cyrodiil with Calais and Jura. Her old friend Rigmor, now Countess, is mad because they haven't talked since then. Runa blames it on the Time Wall, but she was really outside the Time Wall at the time. She's just annoyed by her. Runa, with the intent of negotiating a treaty with Cyrodiil, ends up caught in politics. The new bandit emperor Ariel Sethius has taken the throne by force, but he's really just a puppet for Morag Sethius, a daughter of Cold Harbor. In the process of this story, Rigmor is falsely accused and taken to prison in Roscrea. Runa and Jura get trapped in a labyrinth and end up killing the last Minotaur. They travel to Roscrea, break out Rigmor, fight off Akaviri soldiers, travel through the cold for a few days, then travel back via a couple boats, including one captained by another old friend, Cassius Varin. They also have some cool ship battles. They stop and find there's a new Jarl in Falkreath, Ingel. To be honest, I planned this. I know the Rigmor series likes to insert characters, and I knew some of the Jarls needed to die in the war anyway. It just works. The group travels south, breaks the siege at Ruma, and they go to destroy Morag's font of power with help from friends, and also battle Molag Bal. Then they fight their way to the Imperial City. Seeing everything up to this point, knowing he's a puppet of Molag Bal, the Chancellor and soldiers of the Emperor don't raise a hand to Rigmor and Runa.
Pick up your sword and cut them down! Cut them down, I say! Please, Gorda. Gorda. Mercy.
The Emperor tries to kill Runa himself, but Jura steps in and kills the man.
It's over. The Emperor is dead.
And by right of the kill, Jura is now Emperor of Cyrodiil. Also, there's a lot of nuance that I didn't cover in this. For example, Aventus Aretino is grown up. Runa and Rigmor are both pregnant. Rigmor by divine intervention. And there's a whole subplot about Alessia, the last Minotaur, etc. But a lot of that I ignored because it doesn't make much sense with the lore or with my backstory. Also, Runa and Rigmor are both Imperial princesses now. I'll come back to why, beyond being related to Jura, this happens. And now Fenrir. So Fenrir is a little bit more straightforward. He travels the Moonpath to Elswyer, does some jobs for the Khajiit resistance, including taking care of a Slode and fighting some Thalmor, from which he manages to win an experimental airship. Then he rescues Inigo and Sophia. When he gets back, Damien's already returned. He requests they go on an adventure together with Sophia to look up Medora DINI. And this is not a mod, just a journey of my own making. They actually used the Rigmor of Cyrodiil world space so I could go to Bravil. Medora's quite a lot older now, even though she's a Breton, it's been a while. She asked the pair if they can find her daughter as a favor, the baby born back in Daggerfall. This takes them through a few of the Skyrim border regions, including Halfstead, Folkstead, Morith, Nihus, and eventually Kirkmoor, where they are saved by a gray-haired lady warrior. You may know her as Valiana DINI. They buy her beer for her trouble. After a few, they're able to convince her to spill her story. A victim of assault, she gave up her child to the orphanage in Skyrim. Quickly getting on her good side, Fenrir decides he wants to help her take revenge. Last thing before we go back to Destana, Damien figures out that that child that Valiana gave up was Runa, so that's how she's a septum. And for the last portion before the next arc, Destana gets her own. First, she upgrades her armor slightly. She joins the Debellan Sisterhood, helps open the Dragonborn Museum, becomes an arena champion, goes to some girls' parties with Elisif, Serana, and Brezenia, completes the Pelagius wing, then goes to Hammerfell to become the Grey Fox. You may know this as the first edited videos I released, Grey Cowl of Nocturnal. When she gets back, they do final preps to invade Valenwood. And that's it for this time. Next time, I haven't actually decided on the title yet, but we're going to cover the invasion of Valenwood, the invasion of Somerset, and everything that's come since. Hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe if you did. This actually was way more work than I thought it was going to be. And as always, happy modding.